Can you please keep her away from the front tables? My stepsister whispered, loud enough for everyone to hear. I froze, holding the gift I spent months saving for. I mean, she's just a nurse. This is a high-profile wedding, she added, laughing softly. A few guests turned, eyes scanning me like I didn't belong. I tried to step back quietly, pretending I didn't hear it, pretending I didn't feel that sharp sting in my chest. But then a chair scraped loudly across the floor. An older man stood up suddenly. He stared straight at me, confused at first, then something shifted in his eyes. Shock, recognition. Wait, you, he said, his voice shaking. The entire room went silent. My name is Olivia Carter. I'm 34 years old. And yeah, I'm a nurse. I work long shifts in a crowded city hospital where the lights never dim and the sound of machines never stops. Most days, I barely sit down. Most nights, I go home with tired feet and a full heart. I've seen people at their worst and still chose to stay kind. That's just who I am. I come from a blended family, but it never really felt like one. My stepsister, Emily, was always the one everyone celebrated. She got the praise, the support, the attention. I got the leftovers. I learned early to stay quiet, to not ask for too much. I helped with bills when things were tight. I stayed close to my mom when she needed someone. I didn't chase big dreams or fancy things. I just wanted peace. I just wanted respect. I wasn't rich or glamorous, but I had something they didn't expect. If you've ever been looked down on for doing honest work, hit that subscribe button. I know how that feels. Tell me your story in the comments. I'm reading every single one. And don't forget to like or share, because some stories deserve to be heard. I almost didn't go to the wedding. The invitation came late, like an afterthought. My name wasn't even printed properly on the envelope. Still, my mom insisted. It's family, she said. So I showed up, wearing the best dress I could afford, holding a gift I had carefully chosen after weeks of saving. The venue smelled like fresh flowers and expensive perfume. Everything was polished. Perfect. Except for me. I noticed it right away. My name wasn't on the seating chart. I stood there, scanning every line twice, hoping I had missed it. A coordinator finally pointed me toward a single chair near the back, far from the main tables. I smiled politely and thanked her. I didn't want to cause a scene. During the mingling, Emily walked over with that same practiced smile she always used in public. "Oh, Olivia made it," she said to a group of guests. "She's the hardworking one, but not exactly successful." A few people chuckled. I felt my face heat up, but I kept my voice steady. "Nice to meet you," I said, shaking hands like nothing had happened. Then one of the bridesmaids leaned in. "If you get bored, you can always help the staff," she joked. "You must be used to serving people." I let out a small laugh, but inside, something cracked. Later, just before dinner, Emily pulled me aside again. Her voice was softer this time, but the words cut deeper. "Just don't embarrass the family, okay? Try not to talk too much to the important guests." I nodded. What else could I do? I picked up my bag and started to step away. I thought about leaving, quietly. No drama, no tears. But then that voice stopped me. "Wait, you." The night kept getting worse before it got better. When it was time for family photos, I stood nearby, waiting. A photographer waved people in. Names were called. Laughter filled the air. But mine never came. I stepped forward once, unsure. Emily glanced at me and shook her head lightly. "This is just immediate family," she said, like I should already know. I stepped back again. My chest felt tight, but I stayed still. Later, during the speeches, Emily stood with a glass in her hand, glowing under the soft lights. "Growing up," she said, smiling at the crowd, "I always believed in aiming high, and sometimes life shows you what happens when you don't." A few people laughed, unsure but willing. Let's just say my sister here chose a simpler path. Her eyes flicked toward me. I didn't move. My mom leaned over from her seat and whispered, "Please don't react. Don't ruin this." I looked at her, searching for something, anything, but all I saw was worry. Not for me, for the image. I swallowed my words. Across the room, the groom's father kept glancing in my direction. His eyes narrowed, slightly, like he was trying to remember something important. I felt it, a shift in the air. People started whispering. Someone said he wanted to speak. I didn't know why, but my heart started to race. Something was coming. I could feel it building. What they didn't know was I had already met him before. Months ago, during one of my longest shifts, the emergency doors burst open. A man was rushed in, pale and barely conscious. The room filled with urgency. Monitors beeped loudly. Nurses moved fast. I stepped in without thinking. It was instinct, training. He was in critical condition. Every second mattered. I remember the smell of antiseptic, the cold feel of gloves on my hands, the pressure of making the right call. I stayed past my shift. Hours passed, but I didn't leave. At one point, things got worse. His condition dropped suddenly. I had to act. Fast. I made a decision others hesitated on. It worked. Slowly, his vitals stabilized. He made it through the night. Before he was moved, he looked at me and asked my name. I told him. Then I went back to work. That was it. To me, it was just another patient. Just another life I tried to save. I didn't need applause. I didn't expect to see him again. But I wasn't invisible either. Back at the wedding, I could hear my mentor's voice in my head. Dr. Helen Brooks always told me, stand tall even when no one notices. She believed in me more than anyone ever had. I held on to that now. Across the room, I saw the groom's father speaking quietly to a staff member, pointing in my direction. The staff nodded and hurried off. Emily was laughing with her guests, completely unaware. The music softened. Conversations slowed. I stood near the edge of the room, unsure whether to stay or leave. My hands felt cold, but my posture stayed steady. Then the microphone squeaked softly. The groom's father had it in his hand. The room turned toward him. "May I have everyone's attention?" he said. The chatter faded. He stepped down from the stage and walked straight toward me. Each step felt heavy, like time itself was slowing down. He stopped a few feet away. "Do you know who this woman is?" he asked the room. Emily laughed awkwardly. "My stepsister." She said, "She's just a nurse." He shook his head firmly. "No," he said, his voice stronger now. "She's the reason I'm alive." The room went still. You could hear a pin drop. He turned slightly, addressing everyone. "Months ago, I was rushed into a hospital. I was dying. And this woman," he pointed gently toward me, "made a decision that saved my life." Gasps spread through the crowd. She didn't hesitate. She didn't seek attention. She just did her job with skill and heart. His voice softened. "I've met many professionals in my life. Few as selfless as her." Emily's smile disappeared. My mom looked stunned. I stood there, calm, steady. No anger, no pride, just truth. The power in the room shifted completely. After that, everything felt quieter. He thanked me again, this time privately. He offered help, connections, anything I might need. I smiled and shook my head. "Respect is enough," I said. Emily approached later, her voice smaller now. "I didn't know," she said. I nodded once. That was all. My mom tried to speak, but I didn't wait. I walked out into the cool night air. The silence felt peaceful. I didn't need revenge. I just needed the truth to be seen. And now it was. If you've ever been embarrassed in front of others, especially by people who were supposed to support you, I understand that pain. It stays with you longer than people realize. But moments like that don't define you. How you rise after them does. Share your story in the comments. I want to know, have you ever been underestimated because of your job or background? Subscribe if you believe respect should never depend on status. And if this story reminded you of your own strength, don't keep it to yourself. Click share to help this story reach others who need it. Your story has power. If you felt a connection to mine, please subscribe and share your journey in the comments. Every share you give this video helps empower someone else. Thank you for being here and for listening.